Terrifying kidnapping stories, survivors who escaped against all odds. Red circle, imagine walking home feeling safe when suddenly darkness. The van door slams shut. Your screams are muffled. The world outside moves on, but for you, time stops. Kidnappings are every person's worst nightmare, yet some victims defied all odds and escaped the clutches of pure evil. Their stories are terrifying, heart-wrenching, and above all, unbelievably inspiring. Today, we uncover 4 of the most terrifying kidnapping stories, each one a tale of survival, resilience, and a desperate fight for freedom. 1. The Girl in the Basement, Elizabeth Fritzl's 24-year nightmare. In 1984, 18-year-old Elizabeth Fritzl was about to start her adult life when her own father, Joseph Fritzl, tricked her into the basement of their home in Austria. Before she could react, the door locked behind her. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into years. Trapped underground, she endured unimaginable horrors, starvation, abuse, and complete isolation from the outside world. She gave birth to 7 children in captivity with no medical help, no sunlight, no hope. For 24 years, she remained a ghost until one day in 2008, one of her children fell critically ill. Joseph had no choice but to take the child to the hospital, an action that finally led to his arrest and Elizabeth's rescue. The world was stunned. How could a father do this? 2. The Cleveland Captives, a miracle escape after 10 years. For 10 years, 3 women, Amanda Berry, Gina DeJesus, and Michelle Knight, lived in a house of horrors just a few miles from their families in Cleveland, Ohio. Kidnapped by Ariel Castro, they were kept in locked rooms, chained, starved, and brutalized. No one knew they were there. No one knew they were suffering. Until one day in 2013, Amanda Berry saw a small chance. The front door was slightly open. Summoning every ounce of courage, she screamed for help and banged on the door. A neighbor heard her cries, kicked down the door, and the world finally learned the horrifying truth. A decade of torture had come to an end. Castro was arrested and later took his own life in prison. 3. The Brave Little Warrior, J.C. Dugard's 18-year ordeal. At just 11 years old, J.C. Dugard was walking to the school bus when a car screeched to a stop beside her. Before she could run, she was gone, kidnapped by Philip and Nancy Garrido. They took her to a hidden compound in their backyard, where J.C. spent 18 years in captivity, giving birth to 2 daughters before she was even old enough to drive. Her chance at freedom came in 2009, when Garrido brought her to a police station, believing himself to be untouchable. But detectives grew suspicious. When asked her name, she hesitated, then finally whispered, "J.C." For nearly 2 decades, she was free. 4. The Unbreakable Spirit, the abduction of Colleen Stan. In 1977, Colleen Stan was a 20-year-old hitchhiker just looking for a ride. When a seemingly normal couple, Cameron and Janice Hooker, offered her a lift, she felt safe. But within minutes, the nightmare began. They placed a wooden box over her head, a torture device meant to silence and disorient her. For the next 7 years, Colleen was kept in a coffin-like box, taken out only to be abused, threatened, and brainwashed into believing she was a slave to an all-powerful underground organization. Her only chance of escape? Convincing Janice, Cameron's wife, to help her. It worked. In 1984, Colleen finally walked free, scarred but alive. Final thoughts: strength beyond imagination. Each of these stories is a reminder of the resilience of the human spirit. These survivors endured horrific nightmares yet still found the strength to escape, to rebuild, and to tell their stories. Their courage brought down their captors. Their survival shocked the world. And their stories continue to inspire, terrify, and amaze us to this day. If you found these survival stories unbelievable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more mind-blowing true crime mysteries. Which of these stories shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments below.